Hi everyone, Jill here. Welcome back to Whispering Willow Farm. I'm in my living room today and I have put together a fun video. This is a holiday gift idea video. I'm calling it the Homestead Edition. However, this would be perfect for the homemaker in your life, for the homesteader in your life, for the gardener, for the person who's just aspiring to be connected, right? For that intentional living. For me, I have a love language of gift giving and gift receiving. I put a lot of thought into it. I want it to be a gift specific for that person's personality, for their interest. I put a lot of thought into it. And so for me, I like to think about Christmas months ahead, but there are plenty of gift ideas that you can do months ahead, or you can literally throw together the week or the day or two before you need to give this gift. So let's run through them. This is a holiday gift idea video, Homestead Edition. Hope you have your coffee or your tea and you're ready to dive in. So as a homesteader and a homemaker myself, I'm thinking, what would I like to receive as a gift? What is something that I would use? It wouldn't just go shoved in the back of a closet. And that's kind of how I came up with this idea. All right, so my first holiday gift idea is a homemade potpourri. I love having this on the stovetop anytime in the fall and winter, really. It just smells like Christmas. It smells like the holiday, and it's really easy to put together. So you're gonna need some sort of vessel. I just found this small half-pint mason jar. You're gonna need some cinnamon sticks, which you can find relatively cheap at the store. The good thing about this homemade gift too is you can kind of forage the pantry and put whatever you would like. So I'm just adding a couple cinnamon sticks to my mason jar. I'm adding a couple sprigs of rosemary, throw in there, and then a few of these oranges. Put the lid on it, and here you have this really simple holiday potpourri. Now you could add cranberries, you could add different herbs, you could add different, dehydrated fruit. There's a lot of versatility with this, and then just put some sort of cute bow, twine around it with some sort of homemade card, and that's a very, very simple holiday gift idea. Now along the same lines, you can dehydrate various fruits. So I have got some limes here, I have got some oranges here, I dehydrated a couple grapefruits, and I'm gonna make this fun little cocktail, if you will. And so I've got this cute shaped mason jar. I'm gonna open it up, put my fruit in there, just like that. You could throw various herbs, whatever you have available for you. And then what I'm gonna do is just buy those really small bottles of different liquors and just stick it in there. And then screw the top on, add a bow, and then here's a really simple infused spirit. So you could do rum, you could do vodka, it really doesn't matter, but it's super versatile, and those little bitty bottles of liquor are actually pretty easy and cheap to get. Another holiday gift idea that I absolutely love is freeze-dried fruit. I have been freeze-drying my little heart away, so for me, this was a natural idea for a gift because it's something I was already doing. If you don't have a freeze dryer, you can dehydrate these fruits and still have the same effect. So I like to buy these Mylar bags off of the internet. I also bought some fun festive red ones. I'll just write with a chalk marker, Merry Christmas. So I have some bananas here. I have some apples, and then I have some raspberries, and so I thought to be festive, it would be fun if I mixed together some of the reds with a few of these whites, maybe try to freeze dry some, cranberries or raisins, and just make this festive holiday bundle. You could easily just tie, some twine around this or a bow, or stick a small little bow or note at the top. And so any sort of freeze-dried or dehydrated fruit is always just gonna be an easy option, and it's also really practical. So along the lines of being practical, I think giving homemade elderberry or fire cider is a fantastic Christmas gift. Now, you can make your own, or you can buy some and give it. It's still a great, thoughtful gift, and it's things that people are actually going to use. I find that giving fire cider, people actually really like. I've given that for gifts for several years. You don't have to package it up. You can just throw some twine on it. It makes an easy gift idea, along with different tinctures. So I am a tincture girl myself. I make them for my family all the time. Anytime I talk to someone about tinctures, they have sparked curiosity. They just aren't sure how to make it themselves. So these make the perfect gifts, and you can write on here what to do, or you could print some sort of cute label that tells them what to do, like store out of direct sunlight, sunlight, shake ever so often. And so this is a mushroom tincture. And so I've made up a few of these to give gift ideas, and you can take something that's pretty plain and you can dress it up a lot to really appeal to a lot of different people. So as I'm saying all these things, these are suggestions. I really encourage you guys, figure out what you have available to you, what you have the time to do. For me, I am a homemaker, and so we make a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff I have on hand and I have extra. So for me, it's just kind of foraging through my pantry, thinking of that person that I am shopping or buying for, and think, what do I have that they would really enjoy and like, or what can I put together? So I love making simple syrups. I am a massive coffee lover over here, and so simple syrups are great for those coffee lovers in your life. You can buy a nice bag of local coffee, support one of your favorite coffee shops, and then you can make a homemade simple syrup and pair those two together, and it's really amazing. So here I have a homemade cardamom simple syrup, and I just tied this really cute Christmas ribbon on here. I'm gonna pair this with some Whispering Willow Farm coffee and give this as a gift. Now this is a lot of simple syrup, so you can make this and then put it in smaller jars, and then I think that that's also really cute. It's just a small amount of simple syrup, so that is an option there. And then I have a coffee liqueur, and so this would also be for that coffee lover in your life. Granted, this is a really big jar. You could break this up into smaller jars. You can see we've used a recycled, reusable jar, so that's also nice too, is don't feel like you have to go out and buy new jars. Recycle, repurpose. I think that's the whole idea of this, you know, holiday gift idea, is these are things that are practical. These are ways that you can intentionally give to people without breaking the budget, which I actually really value, and I hope that you guys do as well. So we are definitely reusing jars around here. So this coffee liqueur is super easy to make. You could find your own version of it as well, but definitely think it's a contender in the holiday gift ideas. So you will notice a lot of these things that I'm telling you all are homemade gift ideas. Don't worry, I have plenty of those store-bought gift ideas too. But for me, when you're trying to get by shopping for a lot of people on a budget, making it yourself is usually a good alternative. And so for me, I've always tried to incorporate either thrifting holiday gifts. I love receiving holiday thrifted gifts, or making it handmade. And I do find in my experience that giving a handmade gift like a loaf of bread or a simple syrup or this holiday potpourri, they realize that there was a lot of thought involved, and they don't ever think about the cost that was invested to put it together. They just think, oh, she thought enough about me to make this. I really appreciate that. So do not shy away from the fact that you're making it homemade, or maybe you're buying it secondhand. It took a lot of thought, and for me, I think that that should be recognized and should be appreciated. So don't steer away from some of these homemade gift ideas either, because I really think that the person you're buying for will really appreciate them. So sticking with the homemade gift ideas, so I love herbal teas. I like to make herbal teas. It's much more affordable just to buy bulk herbs and make your own. And so I have made these little herbal tea packs. I've stamped on the bottom here what kind of tea it is, which is gonna be, you know, dependent on who I'm giving it for. I've attached a nice little steeper, and then I like to go and get these little honey sticks for about 25 cents, and then just bundle it all together. So you have the tea, the steeper, your sweetener, and this, in my opinion, makes for a really, really good gift and super thoughtful for that tea lover in your life. All right, so next up, we're gonna talk about fermenting. I know a lot of people who are getting into fermenting foods, fermenting drinks, fermenting all of the things, right? But it is intimidating to them, and rightfully so. So anytime I can give someone the gift of ferments, I do, because I wanna pull them over and win them over into this world of fermenting and let them know, hey, not only does it taste good, but it's really easy to make. So I give a lot of fermented gifts away for the holidays, for birthdays, when I'm just thinking of someone, especially if you're trying to give a gift to someone who maybe isn't feeling well and it's just a get well package. You can never go wrong with that. So here I have this fermented honey. If you're going to make something and you want it the easiest possible, buy you some good honey, throw it in a jar, buy you some garlic, throw it in a jar, shake it occasionally, put it, I use this so you can see that this has been a little bit used, but put it in a small half pint, tie a pretty bow around it, write on there with a glass marker what it is, and that is a really easy, thoughtful, practical gift this time of year, especially with people getting sick. But this is great. The honey is great. You can use the honey or the garlic, so it's one of those 2-for-1 holiday gift ideas that I think a lot of people will appreciate. All right, so I mentioned the honey garlic was a super easy ferment, but there's a lot of other really easy fermenting ideas that scream Christmas, just like these beautiful fermented beets. They're these deep red, absolutely stunning. This is actually currently fermenting, as you can see by the lid on top. But I will just replace this with a standard lid. I'll probably add some rosemary or thyme to the top and just add some twine. And there you go. It's super easy. It's really good for someone. And I think that the foodie in your life will certainly appreciate this one. All right, so say you're watching this and you're like, Jill, I really appreciate you giving these homemade holiday gift ideas, but I thought you were gonna give gift ideas that I didn't have to make. If you are not that crafty, or maybe you just don't have the time to make homemade gifts, that does not mean that this video is not for you. There's a lot of really great options, and I'm gonna share some of the fermented options with you as well. You can actually just give these fermenting kits. It comes with everything. So you've got your tamper, you have your pickle pipes, you've got your weights, you have your books. So if you are looking to give someone the gift of fermenting because they have been talking about it, maybe want to dive in, this practical kit is really, really efficient on teaching someone, and then it just has everything you need in this nice little box. So this is really nice for that person in your life who is wanting to get started fermenting. It's kind of the one-stop shop here, right? It's everything they need to immediately go home and start fermenting food. Let's be honest, there are a lot of different ways you can ferment. You do not have to get the benefits of fermented foods just from foods. You can get the benefit of fermentation through a lot of other things. Water, kefir, kombucha, several things. So here is a kombucha starter kit, which gives someone everything they need to get started brewing kombucha in their home. I personally use this kit. It's super easy, super user-friendly, and so anyone can do it. And if you wanted to kind of take this up a notch, you could also buy like a pretty mason jar that they could start this in and just give it as kind of a bundle. If not, I have given these as gifts several times. And it's a small gift, but it's super thoughtful because someone can immediately go home and learn a new skill. And so this one always is kind of a crowd pleaser, and it's also under that $25 mark, so it's really affordable for most people as well. And then some other fermenting options are different cultures you can give people. So this is a cultured cream cheese. It's where people could take their dairy, maybe if they are those homesteaders and they have a lot of milk, they could be making all their own cultures. I just think that this is super thoughtful. I have gotten cultures before like this. I'm making yogurt, etc., and I really like them. So here's one for cream cheese. And then over here, I have one for yogurt as well. Now this one in particular comes with several different packets. And so you could just buy the packet and then give each one, like if you're wanting to do a few different bundles. So you could add this to a gift bag with maybe a few other different things, yogurt related, and then you could just buy the box once. But you've got enough to give to several different people on your list. So there are a few other homemade holiday gift ideas. However, I made these homemade. You can certainly buy these, and it is just as thoughtful, just as practical of a gift idea. And that is leaf lard or tallow. Leaf lard is like gold in the homesteading world, okay? This little quart jar is very, very valuable. It is also really valuable to that homemaker, that homesteader in your life. And so for me, this was given to me, which I love it. I also make this and gift it to people. You can do this with tallow, which can be used for various different things. Super beneficial for you. And again, you can just give it in this pretty mason jar, and you can tie some herbs to it, maybe some ribbons, and you can really just dress up, this simple little mason jar, but it is definitely a crowd pleaser with a lot of people. So here we have a homemade chicken broth. Now I think that this is a wonderful gift idea because a lot of people buy broths for various different reasons, whether they're cooking, health reasons. Broths are kind of coming around now where a lot of people are just realizing how beneficial they are. And they're kind of expensive. And so if you can make your own broth, you can even dehydrate some of this broth and give it. You could freeze dry some of this broth if you had a freeze dryer and give it, or you could just give, quart mason jars with something else if you wanted. You could make a soup mix and you could attach that so you could have, your broth to make your chicken noodle soup. A lot of versatility with this, and for us, we make bulk stock and broths at a time that I always have plenty of this to be able to gift some, and it's just a really good gift idea because people can go home and immediately start using it. So next up, we have got sourdough. If you've been following me, then you know I am kind of known for sourdough. I do a lot of sourdough courses. We have a sourdough starter in our Whispering Willow shop. And so for me, people want to learn the art, the skill, and the craft of sourdough. However, it's kind of hard to learn. And so if you can give someone a sourdough starter where they can start learning how to bake, I find that that is always a crowd pleaser with anyone I'm shopping for that has shown interest in sourdough. So this is our sourdough starter Otis. I've paired it with the bench scraper here. And then what I do is I buy a box of these biscuit cutters that come in various sizes. And what I do is I take each one apart and I give a different size biscuit cutter with each gift. And so I've got this one and this will be a gift. I've got a larger biscuit cutter that can go to someone else. I have a smaller one if maybe they wanted to do donut holes. And I will write up some sort of recipe of sourdough biscuits. And so I can give them this and then they can take it home. They can activate their sourdough starter and have the recipe and everything they need to get started making sourdough biscuits. And so this is always a really fun gift idea because you're gifting someone the ability to learn a new skill and a new craft. And for me, I love giving those types of gifts. Now we have another super practical one. I am a farmer and so I grow a lot of food and I put up a lot of food. And so I have made countless batches of diced tomatoes throughout the summer. I have got plenty enough to spare. I'm going to be growing more tomatoes this summer. And so I am going to be gifting these diced tomatoes with some organic pasta, and this is going to be a really fun gift idea. I could even throw in maybe like a bag of homemade bread mix or maybe another sourdough starter where they can make their own bread. And so this is one of those super practical, right? You're probably not going to gift this to a kid, but for the mother-in-law or the sister-in-law in your life, they're the types of people that want quick, easy meal ideas. They are the people that you are buying those practical or making those practical gifts for because it's going to make their life simpler. And so if I can give them everything where they can just go home and prepare an easy meal for their family, I find that these go over really well. And plus you can't get nice heirloom tomatoes in the wintertime. And so this is nice because it's literally just kind of a taste of summer in a jar. And so I find that these, practical food dinner ideas are really nice. And again, this is a version of it, but you can honestly just change this up based off of what you have available to you, and obviously the person that you're buying the holiday gift for. All right, so now let's talk about buying secondhand. I am a huge advocate for buying secondhand. I just think it is more sustainable. It's a much more intentional way to go about buying things, and for me, you can really kind of cater for those people specifically and what they like. So for me personally, I love books. I love old books, not only for decorations, but just to kind of learn how they did things in a different time period. And so here is a book on drying flowers. It's called The Art of Drying Flowers. Obviously it's an old book, but it's super cool. And for someone who's really interested in growing and drying flowers, this actually makes a very practical, good gift idea. I paid $3.50 for this book, so obviously that was worth it. It's really good. I flipped through it. It has a lot of really great information. So you can, do books. You can do cookbooks. There's a lot of different things that you can buy secondhand for people and get it at a much better price point. So I definitely recommend go to Goodwill, go to Salvation Army, maybe some thrift stores, and try to buy secondhand for some of the people on your shopping list this year. And then last but not least, I love gifting seeds. I want to encourage everyone I know to grow food and start gardens and just to learn the craft and the skill of going out into your backyard and harvesting what you grew. I think there's something so gratifying about that. So any chance that I can give people seeds, I'm all for it. So I love the idea of gifting seeds and a seed catalog for a holiday gift, especially for that person who's aspiring to be a gardener, or maybe they're a seasoned gardener. And the really cool thing about this is these were actually gifted to me, but there's a little card here and it says these were upcycled from old books that I haven't used in a long time and were on their way to the landfill. We hope that you can put these seed packets to good use. And so that is really cool because what this person did is they took all of these old books and they made these really awesome seed packets with this little note on here, which you could easily replicate this. So you'll put what the seed is and then how many, and then you just stuff it in there and close it up. And so this is incredible. You can give this to kids and it could be wildflowers or for a kid garden. You can give this, with just vegetables. You could give this with flowers. And you can see there's various sizes here. So we're starting to get a little bit bigger and then some of those back here were a little bit smaller. And so when someone gifted this to me, I was absolutely in love. I knew I was going to put these to use. I knew that this was a great gift because again, you're gifting something practical, and if it's someone who enjoys gardening, then this is a really thoughtful gift. You can make them a little basket. Maybe you've put a flower press in there. Maybe you put a little journal where they can journal, their journeys out into the garden. And so there's so many different things that you can do, but I thought that this was an excellent holiday gift idea. Well, friends, thank you for hanging out with me as I shared some holiday gift ideas with you, homestead edition. Like I mentioned, some of these you can make, some of these you might already have in your pantry, and some of these might be things that you have to source out from a store. For the things that I mentioned that were not homemade, there will be a link down below where you guys can shop them. So most of these items we have on our Whispering Willow shop. We like to partner with local artisans and crafters. Granted, there are some things like the fermenting supplies that we just partner with a large wholesale company to be able to resell those, but all of our other things, our small batch things, are made from small local and artisans. So you are not only supporting our small business this holiday season, but another small business as well. So cheers for getting busy, making all of these different holiday gift ideas, or maybe sourcing some of these holiday gift ideas. If any of these resonated with you, perfect, do it. If they didn't, I encourage you to sit down with your cup of coffee, figure out the people you're buying from, and figure out what it is that you can make, thrift, or buy secondhand to supply them with this holiday season. I promise you, they'll appreciate it more than you think they will. But thank you all for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon.